Okay guys, so here we have it. This is the new Dual Fusion. Pretty much identical, just some little features changed here and there. So if you look at the pedal itself, you can see on the unit here, we've actually now got soft non-latching switches. So these now don't click. They're just non-latching, really good high quality switches on there, really nice. The layout's changed, obviously. You can see that we've got this wider layout now, so the controls are spaced out much nicer as well, which is obviously a nice thing. Now in terms of the layout, obviously on the top, we've got the jacks now are on the top, and you can see that allows me to actually put the pedal right up against the pedal next to it. This is a Strymon timeline. I've got it right on there, right up against it, so it saves a lot of real estate on the pedal board, which is really good. Power supply connection is on the top again, and then we've got, again, channel 1, channel 2, channel 1, channel 2 ins and outs on the top as well. And then the controls, really, they're just laid out exactly the same. So, as with the previous one, we've got the modern channel, gain, level, tone. The vintage channel, tone, level, gain, just the other way around. And then we've got our fat and smooth switch, our throaty and natural switch, and then this is the switch for the separate sort of 1 into 2 or 2 into 1. Now the way I'm running this at the moment is I'm running this into a gig rig G2. So both sides of the pedal are on, but I can switch between them by using the G2. So I've got it in separate mode at the moment, and it's all powered via the gig rig generator. So that's how it's all wired up. Let's have a listen to how it sounds. My clean tone at the moment, I'm running through a Laney Lionheart L20 combo, which is mic'd up with a Royer R121, ribbon mic, and an SM57 classic combination, which works really well. My clean tone sounds like this. I'm on pickup number 4, position number 4 on this Fibonacci. There's a little tiny smidgen of reverb and delay coming from the Strymons on there as well. Apart from that, there's nothing running in front of the pedal, so it's just the Dual Fusion that you're hearing. So we'll start with channel 1. So I've selected channel 1 here. You'll see nothing update on the pedal at all because I'm just literally doing that on the G2. If you were going to do this with the Dual Fusion yourself, you would just cable into 1 and out of 2, or you could cable into 2 and out of 1. I will demonstrate that as well, so the different stacking order, because I can change those on the G2, so we'll do that last. But yeah, I've just got channel 1 on its own. You can see here, the tone is rolled back. It's a very bright pedal, and I like to run the tone back. Now the reason for that is because it then caters for a huge range of different amplifiers. If you've got a very dark sounding amplifier, a very dark sounding guitar with very dark humbuckers, you can brighten things up a lot. So my guitar is very bright, my amp is very bright, so I run the tone back. The level just over halfway, and then the gain just over halfway, and we get this. Absolutely love it. Really amp-like, very transparent overdrive. That's what channel 1 is known for, the vintage channel. And again, there's no difference really to the sound here at all. This is not an upgrade as such, it's just a remodeling of the unit designed to allow for a little bit more real estate on the pedal board, and to basically allow it to match up with the rest of the Wampler range now, with the non-latching switches and the top-mounted jacks on there. So, you know, you're not getting anything different in terms of tone, particularly. It's just the pedal is obviously just more ergonomically designed now. So if you've got an old Dual Fusion, don't worry about it. It's just that this is sort of a more ergonomic design. Okay, so let's play with the controls a little bit. So we're going to increase the gain here. So we'll go to 3/4 of the way up, touch nothing else. I'm going to keep on the same pickup, then I'm going to switch down to my bridge pickup. Again, super amp-like, really tubey kind of overdrive there. Absolutely love it. Now, if we play with the gain and bring it all the way down, this functions as a great boost as well. So we bring the level up slightly. Running into the front of the Laney, we get this. Again, here's the clean tone. Okay, if I go back onto channel 1, let's increase the level even more. Pushing nicely into overdrive territory. Really fattens up the sound. Again, no dual fusion. And then with channel 1 as a boost. Very, very cool indeed. Now let me show you the switches. So if we go to the fat switch, bring the level down, bring the gain up. Okay, now what the fat switch does is it basically opens up and it gives you less compression. Okay, just like the original pedal. So now we've got... If I go to smooth, it's going to get a little bit quieter and more compressed. Now that's my personal preference. I love that sound. Go back to fat, it gets louder and more open. So it's even more transparent. It makes it a little bit more less forgiving when you play. And obviously for my legato style, I prefer the kind of smooth setting. But it's a really beautiful sound, especially for kind of chimey, edge of breakup kind of tones. Now if we increase the gain further on this particular sound, on channel 1, again, listen to how touch responsive that is, it's incredible. Really, really beautiful sound. Okay, so that's channel 1. Switching over to channel 2, let me switch back to smooth here, set things up roughly how I had them before. Now if we switch over to channel 2, again I'm doing this on the gig rig, on the G2. So you would do this just by literally turning channel 1 off and turning channel 2 on. Okay, now with the gig rig setup with a looper, the great thing about the dual fusion is you can run it into a loop system like the G2 or the OC10 by One Control or the ES8 by Boss, any of these looping systems, and the looping system will do all the switching for you. You can even change the order of the loops, which is super, super cool. So you could have channel 2 going into channel 1 or channel 1 going into channel 2 for different stacking possibilities. Okay, so channel 2, again, just for reference, here's my clean tone. This time on the bridge pickup. Now channel 2, I have to be careful not to knock the camera here. Channel 2 set up, as you can see, with the gain just under halfway, the level halfway up, and the tone just under halfway. So a darker, much more modern sound here, much more kind of TS-like in its nature. Really, really nice sound, very fun to play with. Let's increase the gain to just about 3/4 up. We'll bring the level down a touch. Okay, just a little bit more. Okay, nothing done to the tone control here. Okay, if we increase the tone, okay, so we've also got, on this particular setting, a normal and a throaty switch, which you can see just here. We're in the normal setting, which again is how I tend to use the pedal. If we back off the gain, bring the level up a touch, let's check out throaty. We'll bring the tone back as well. As you'd expect with throaty, much more mid-range. Let me bring the level down a touch. Excuse my tuning, guys. So, if we compare that now to natural, again, less mid-ranged. And again, a small volume drop, so just compensating the level. Okay, so obviously you can also combine the two. So if I stack both together, let me again switch that on the gig rig. This is channel 1 into channel 2, and I'm using the smooth and the natural setting. Now if we increase the gain on both channels, increase the level a little bit as well. Absolutely fantastic. So loads and loads of drive, and that is channel 1 going into channel 2. In a minute I'll demonstrate channel 2 going into channel 1, so stacking them the other way around. Of course, if you wanted to do that, you didn't have a looping system, you just literally swap the cables around. So you have channel 2's input and channel 1's output. If you want to go channel 1 into channel 2, you go into channel 1 and out of channel 2, and then you set the switch just here to the appropriate setting. Okay, so let's just switch the switches around, bring the levels down a little bit. So now we've got throaty on the modern side, and we've got fat on the vintage side. Absolutely fantastic tone, really great. Again, loads of drive. We've not maxed the drive out at all here. Lots of settings to play with in terms of tone controls for both. So you can really start to kind of really hone in your sound with the two channels stacked together. So let's now switch and do channel 2 into channel 1. I'll set that up for you and I'll see you there. Okay, so I've just set it up so that in the looping system, the G2 that I use, now channel 2 is going into channel 1. Let's have a listen to how that sounds. So they're stacked the other way around now. I've not changed anything else. So literally we've still got the throaty and the fat setting, but channel 2 now is stacked into channel 1. So there you go. That's the new Dual Fusion. It's again just some subtle changes in the design, using those non-latching foot switches, top-mounted jacks. Again, just to basically bring it up to speed with the other pedals in the range. But tone-wise, sound-wise, it's the Dual Fusion that you know and love. Hopefully, I absolutely love it. So, I hope you enjoyed this demo, guys. My name's Tom Quayle, and I will see you next time.